Greetings, everybody, and thanks for joining us again on this edition of the New Variety Art Show. Boy, we have a lot of fun on this show, and we're sure glad that you tune in every week. We hope that you do, and let us hear from you and let us know what you think about the New Variety Art Show. If you've never tuned in before, I'm Brad Zinn, your host, and the New Variety Arts explores variety arts entertainment in the 90s. Variety arts entertainment includes clowns, mimes, jugglers, hypnotists, belly dancers, you name it, puppeteers. They'll all be here on the New Variety Art Show, and it'll be your chance to meet these people one-on-one and hopefully get a little better appreciation of what it is that they do. Right now, though, we want to introduce to you our musical director, Mr. Van Corriton. Thanks for being here again, Van.
Great to be here.
Oh, good. We're doing a little Western show today. That's
I noticed the bolo tie.
Yes, nobody ever buys these. I don't think they give. It's like fruitcake. You just give them as gifts. I think. I'm
think so.
Not sure. Bill Close is the only one that buys one, I think. Anyway, I wanted to talk for a minute about some articles that have been appearing in the Arizona Republic Life and Leisure section. This ran January 12th. Now, we tape for broadcast, so this came out right after we taped our last series of shows. But this particular article talks about Humor Gets Serious, America Cleaning Its Toxic Humor. A lot of comedians nowadays are picking on racial groups and ethnic groups, and a lot of people are very upset and very sensitive about this. And we just wanted to make the point that in variety arts entertainment, a juggler, a magician, a clown, hopefully we don't use that kind of humor to get our laughs. And variety arts entertainment offers an alternative to this kind of humor. But it's different strokes for different folks. Right. Now, this article talks about some of the Valley nightclubs, Valley comedy clubs, that are suffering from the recession right now. We've had two comedy clubs here in the Valley area close. One was formerly Finny Bones, then Comedy Cove, and the other one, I think, the Fun Seekers out in Scottsdale is closed. But every time something dies, something else is born, and Knuckleheads was born down at the Arizona Center. But a lot of these clubs are using variety arts entertainers to break up the comedians, and our good friend Michael Finney was down at Knuckleheads not too long ago. So watch your paper, and that's what we mean when we say support variety arts entertainment in your community at the end of the show. Watch the papers. If you see that there's going to be a variety arts performer at one of these comedy clubs, make an effort to get out there and see them. So thanks very much. Right now, as I said, our guest for today is a Western star, and I'm very excited about having him here. So we're going to take a look now at a piece of film that will let you see this man in action. And he's been in the business for many years. He's got a long and colorful history. I can't wait to sit down and talk to him. But right now, we want you to see our good friend Troy Nabors in action. Watch your tape.
And the mule died, and he lived. Ladies and gentlemen, Troy Nabors. Here's the man.
Don't hit the people sitting on the front row. Just keep this thing going, no matter how bad it hurts your fingers sliding through there. Just keep this thing rolling like this, then back it up here like this. Stomach, not like this right here. It's just about time you thought you had everything under control. The next morning, that thing went right straight up your arm to your elbow like this. Come over here like this right here. Did it again like that. Come over here like this. Went around behind your head. Come over here like this right here. And died. Jump through it again. This is right here is about like me trying to stand up here and figure out what I'm supposed to do. This is right here is about like me trying to keep one eye on them pretty ladies that's outside there, and this other trying to keep my eye on that wife of mine sitting down there. You got to keep one eye on this, and 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 then do it like this right here. And then come over here like this, and keep that thing going, and do it like this right here. Finally, they said, we'll take a rope. Maybe get a rope in your hand. Maybe you can learn to do the disco. The best thing that I could learn in that disco was this thing right here. They told me, said, get the rope going like that. Then take this foot, and this goes here. Take the other foot, and this goes here, and this goes here, and this goes here, and this goes here. Jump it, and you'll look like this. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and then one more trick is I'm going to eliminate about another month. All you got to do is jump over the top of it one time, and you do it like this right here, and jump just like this. Lower the rope. Do it like every time there's a good deal, there's a loophole with a clown in the middle of it. Do it like this right here.
Right now, Troy is uncoiling a 76-foot piece of rope. Now, in the olden days, Cowboys didn't have too much money. So when it came time to get married, they said, well, the only thing I can do is make my own wedding ring, and that's what we're doing right now. And depending on how big his wedding party was, determined on how big a wedding ring he had to make. Well, this is called the Cowboys wedding ring. 76 feet of rope is going to be swinging around the body of Troy Nabors. Watch that. He's about to the end. There it is, 76 feet, the Cowboy wedding ring.
That's incredible stuff. Now, those are rope tricks not like what I do as a magician. And the man who performed all that is here with us today in the studio. He is an authentic cowboy, rodeo participant, rodeo clown, a rope spinning artist. He's a humorist. He's an actor, and he's probably one of the best loved rodeo and western performers around today. And we are tickled to death to have with us Mr. Troy Nabors. Thanks for being here, my friend.
Thank you, Brad, for having me here.
You know, we've been in the Valley together for so long, and it's surprising that we haven't worked together more often than we have. But we have worked together, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to come down and be with us today.
Well, I thank you. It's always a pleasure when we do get to work together
Yeah.
over the conventions and so forth.
I want to know about these checkered boots. Now, that's kind of your
That's my trademark.
trademark. Where did that come from?
I started doing that when I was clowning rodeos, and so I always had a little line that if you're not too talented, always dress loud.
Well, you are considered to be somewhat of a latter-day Will Rogers. You share a lot in common with Will Rogers. You're from Oklahoma, and you do humor and rope spinning.
Right.
And have you ever met a man you didn't like?
Well, well, I always said I had a girlfriend that way.
Have you seen the? You know that the Will Rogers Follies on
Yes.
Broadway won the Tony for Best Musical, and that is basically a variety art show that tells the story of Will Rogers, vaudeville, and
The people who go back there and see it really get a treat because the guy's name is Vince Bruce that does the trick roping on that, and he's fantastic. He's the world's greatest. There's no one better than him right now.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Have you seen the show yourself?
I've never seen it, but I know Vince and I've seen him rope. And,
Oh, that's
and
great.
so I know him, and they're putting a road show together now.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
They're going to put a road show together. They've already had the auditions and everything, and they've got 3 other ropers going to travel and advertise in the show.
That's great. Well, let's talk about your boyhood and growing up and how you got started. You were born on a ranch in Oklahoma, is that right?
I was born in a little town in southeastern Oklahoma called Antlers, Oklahoma, and I started very young, working junior rodeos and worked my first little rodeo while I was in high school in 1947, graduated from high school in 1950, and then went professional, and then kind of headed west and come to California and Oregon, Washington, and started rodeoing and started clowning, and I've always had a lot of good acts. I've been blessed to have that. And I had.
Now, when you say good acts, what?
Well, the mule the mule that I had for so many years, named after Slim Pickens, old Slim. Well, I lost him about 2 years ago, and he like 17 days of being 38 years old.
Oh my goodness!
And I'd had him all of the years, and then I had horses, and I had goats, dogs, and everything. I looked like old McDonald's farm going down the road, but
So you did a lot of animal acts.
I had a lot of animal acts along.
Yeah.
Back then you had to. It's a little bit different today, and rodeo has changed some. We used to have to clown, fight bulls, trick rope, trick ride, work animal acts and everything. And
Wow.
today it's a little different
And you had
because...
to pitch tent and clean up after the...
That's right,
after
yeah, it's a full-time job.
That's great. Well, when did you first come into contact with the acting? Because you're also an actor and you've done a number of films. When did that start for you?
I did. Slim Pickens got me a gill card several years ago because Slim was a rodeo clown and bullfighter. And then I worked with him several times up in the Northwest country. And then I would come down and I did stunt work for quite a while, and that ground got hard, and I got to where I could kind of remember them lines a little better. And so that's after I'd got a gill card in '61.
In '61?
Yes.
What was the first film you worked on? Do you remember?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. I probably would like to forget it.
Well, what's your most recent film?
The last, I did a commercial since then, but the last picture I did, I play a parole officer in a movie called Raising Arizona.
Oh, that was shot right here in Arizona.
That was shot here in Arizona.
That
yeah.
was a fairly successful
That was a good one.
movie.
It was a lot of fun to work on, and it's been kind of a, it's been better than I thought it would. But Nicolas Cage was really great. All of my dialogue is with Nicolas Cage.
You were his parole officer?
Yes.
Well, that must have been a lot of fun. Well, who are some of the other Western stars that you've worked with in all these films?
Well,
over
of course,
the
I
years?
mentioned Slim Pickens, you know. And I mentioned Slim, and then I've worked with, in the same area where Roy Rogers. I first met Roy in 1959 at the Oregon Centennial in Portland, Oregon. And then I met him again in '61 or '62, and then I worked with him about 5 years ago, and he signed the picture took in '61. So. And then Amanda Blake, I worked a lot.
Oh yeah, Miss Kitty.
Yeah,
Miss Kitty
she
from
lived here for a
Gunsmoke.
while. You know,
Yes, she did.
and,
Died tragic death here not too long
But
ago.
I've worked a lot with Rex Allen. Rex has been a friend of mine, and I've
Now,
worked
that's
a lot
Mr.
with
Arizona,
Rex.
isn't
That's
it?
Mr. Arizona, and boy, he's a dandy.
And Rex Allen Jr. As well?
I've never worked with Rex Allen Jr. Jr., they called me and wanted me to come to Wilcox this last Rex Allen days and work for Jr. now that he's doing it. See, Rex did Rex Allen days 25 years, and then at the end of the 25 years, he turned it over to Rex Jr.
I
And
see.
I think Jr.'s been at it about 10 or 12 years, but I've never worked for them. I was booked somewhere else, and I didn't get a chance to go down there.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of the different places that you do work. You mentioned the Rex Allen days. Now, that's
In Wilcox.
In Wilcox. Now, is that all outdoors, or do they have indoor
Some of it
theater?
is. Well, no, the theater is the Rex Allen show. They have the PRCA rodeo down there, but I don't work yet. I'm back inside again with Rex, and we're on the stage in there in the auditorium. And when I had the Mule, I used to take him down there, and kind of funny, I had the old Mule house broke, so I took him in all these hotels and here in Las Vegas and everywhere else, but I'd take him in for Rex down there. And so now then I don't have him, so I'd take my ropes and go in and do the Will Rogers type thing. But I just went down and did a deal with Rex about a year ago, though. Not Rex Allen days, but another show.
Now you, well, I think we might have seen part of it on the clip.
Yes, I think the clip was from Rex's.
Yeah, that was Rex Allen.
Yes, Rex Sr.
What a voice he's got. Incredible. You also do convention work. A lot of folks from back east that come out here and they want to see authentic cowboys and Indians, and you're a natural for that kind of stuff.
You know, I kind of thought there was not. I didn't think there was life after rodeo because I had rodeoed for so many years and everything, and met so many wonderful people, and have a lot of wonderful friends in rodeo that still. But then when I quit rodeoing, I started getting into the conventions in the wintertime and still rodeoing in the summer. So when I retired from rodeo, I just kept going on the convention, and I like it. There's a whole new, different people, and I meet a lot of different friends.
They're a lot of fun. They're
You
out
bet.
here in Arizona to have a good time and
right.
enjoying the weather. Is there a favorite story that you have, like the strangest? Every entertainer I know has one of these stories, like the weirdest, strangest thing that's ever happened to you on stage, totally unexpected.
Well, when you was trying to describe it, you didn't say anything about the dumbest, but...
Okay. Well, there you go.
Well, I was in San Diego one time doing a show with Bob Dale, who has a TV show in San Diego, and I had my mule up there, and we were doing the rodeo, and excuse me, I rode the mule down the street. We had to be there early in the morning, and I rode the mule down the street to get in there. And, of course, it's not every day everybody going to work sees a guy riding a mule down the street. And I just rode right in the front door of the hotel, or in the TV deal, and there was 3 or 4 guys standing there, and the guy said, he said, what you need to do is to go back and get all them mats laid down. So I was looking around, and there was 3 guys there, and I asked one of the guys, did he work there? And he said, well, I come down here to look for a job. So I went back in the back to get Bob Dale, and we talked a little while, and he said, who's holding your mule? And I said, the guy looking for a job. So when he come back out, he looked, and he said, you know who that guy is? And I said, yeah, his name is Sam. But they were pulling my leg. It was Sam Sneed. He says, Sam, because I don't play golf, and I didn't know who Sam Sneed was at that time. I sure do now. But anyway,
So you
Sam was...
you parked your... Sam Sneed was your valet that day.
Bob Dale told me real quick. He said, Sam Sneed is my main guest. You're just kind of the...
Well, that's I'm sure that's a day Sam Sneed will never forget either.
And he gave me a book. I played golf that next day with all those guys and stuff, and I thought I'd won because I had the high score.
Well, now, did you actually hit the ball with a club, or did you rope the ball?
No, I hit the ball. I tried to hit the ball.
Uh-huh. Tell us about Slim, the talking mule. Is that
Slim was my mule.
Uh-huh.
He was a little black mule with 4 white feet, about 51 inches tall. He would do about 70 tricks by voice, and I housebroke him, and I worked him in front of John F. Kennedy when he come to Phoenix in '62,
Yeah.
and I also worked him in front of Ronald Reagan when he was. So he got to work in front
Is
of 2
there a
presidents.
difference between a burro and
Yes.
a mule?
Yes, a burro and a mule. A mule is hybrid. He's a cross.
Ah, okay. Tell us what you do now with the ropes and the comedy and the humor that you do. What does your act consist of now?
I try to personalize each show that I do when I do a convention where I do the hotels and so forth. And I go in and talk to the people and try to find out a little bit about them, a little bit of what it is for and everything. And most of then I try to take my rope and I'll talk a little bit about whatever company it is and just spin ropes and talk. And
you'll actually get people up on stage too.
Oh yeah,
Is
I
that
bring
right?
up two or three, 4 people up. And I give a prize away, each time, and see which one's the best trick roper and everything. But
you brought some pictures along for us to look at, and I want to get into those before we run out of time.
I will
here.
show you my
tell us
briefcase.
about this briefcase. This has an interesting story behind
yes,
it.
my Rich Drake is with the Phoenix JCs, and some of the Phoenix JCs, they had me on the front cover of the rodeo program in 1990.
1990.
And so for my 60th birthday here a while back, in October, well, they all got together and they give me a birthday, and 358 people come to always remember how old I am, and a bunch of them got together and they had this made, and
That's a beautiful briefcase.
and then they took it to BBRK and had all the silver and the gold put on it and everything.
You know, my dad was in the Phoenix JCs and worked on the rodeo back in the 50s. So
that was what was on the.
Oh,
now,
okay.
that was the front cover of the Phoenix
this
Rodeo.
is the front cover here. We'll try to get a shot of that. That is Troy Nabors, and being the rodeo clown there, and that was the front cover of the Rodeos program.
I brought you one of those prints.
Oh, bless your heart! This is a print cover.
Yeah, that's just one
That's
of the
great.
program covers.
Let me lay this over here with Van.
So I got
I'm
on another cover down there
Oh.
that they had.
Let me hold this up here. This is the New Times, and that's Troy. It looks like you're biting on a rope. Now, if you were the Lone Ranger, you'd be biting on a silver bullet, I think.
That's right.
Spinning rope and telling tall tales.
Well, here's the one I was telling you a while ago about the Bill Williams Mountain Men a while ago.
Uh-huh.
But all of the ones that I took a while ago was
These are the original Bill Williams Mountain
yes,
Men,
it sure was. They formed
up in Williams, Arizona.
now it's statewide.
And it's statewide, and there's only 3 of these guys still living, as I understand it.
There's some of the little animals that I said I brought out of
okay.
Oklahoma.
This is going back to Troy's early days there. Some of the different trained animals that I have a couple of Cocker Spaniels. Do you think you could come over and help me?
I flew to Palm Springs to do the National Rock and Roll Convention, and being a cowboy
National
and
Rock and Roll Convention?
that's the only one they've ever had. Was sponsored by Polygram Records, and you could only have one member of your band be there.
And who is this?
This is John Cougar Mellencamp.
John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yes, and there was 180 of them there.
How about that?
And this was the picture a while ago that.
Now let's show this one here. This is an incredible picture of Roy caught in midair, jumping around that rope. And you said the guy that took this picture makes clocks out of these things.
Yes,
now,
he
is that
does. He
right?
lives in California.
And you could see how you put the hands of the clock on there, and that's great. He ought to send you one, I think.
This was Slim Pickens. That was old
There's
Slim.
your old buddy,
one
Slim
of the many.
Pickens. That's great. Slim Pickens, yeah.
There's one,
now,
Roy.
here's my, I mean,
He's
I think everybody had Roy Rogers as a hero. Saturday mornings on CBS television, Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. I actually got to perform for them in Los Angeles.
Is
not
that
too long
right?
ago. Very nice people.
He's
They
a
are
prince
just,
of a guy.
they
You
are.
never hear anything bad about
And
him.
here's Miss Kitty. There she is. We sure miss her.
Oh boy, she was fantastic.
Yeah, Amanda Blake.
There's
And,
me on my mule with the Rex Allen.
Here's Slim the Mule. And how does Slim Pickens feel about having a mule named after him?
You know, he told me one time, he says, if I'm going to get one named after you, I sure wanted that one because he was smart.
Okay, now this is going to be the last one we're going to show
Okay, that's
here.
Sheb Woolley.
Sheb Woolley, and the other fellow is
Buffalo Bill Cody III. He's the great-grandson of Buffalo Bill Cody, and he has the museum in North Platte, Nebraska.
Wow, that's great. Well, can you teach me to spin a rope? I've always wanted to do this. We're going to stand up here, and we're going to see if we can get Troy to show us how to spin a rope. And this ought to be exciting because I have no coordination, as we found out in earlier programs, Van.
Well, this is a
for
magic
kind of
rope
thing.
here.
Is this a magic rope?
Yes.
No, that's my business.
I brought this just for you like this
Okay.
here. So I know all you have to do is I know you can get that one going. Now,
Okay.
any time that I spin...
Well, I don't want to show you off here. Oh, by the way, in the clip we saw that 76-foot
Foot of rope,
called the
yes.
wedding band or the wedding ring. Is that a record? Is that
No,
the
82
largest?
foot is the world record.
82.
And then
But
the
I'll
last,
bet you could do
the
that.
last 2 years it's went down to about 70 something. But I don't have enough room in here. But
Okay.
when you do spin a rope, I just wanted to show you something. When you do spin a rope, you have to turn it in your hand.
Uh-huh.
See my thumb and my finger turns that rope.
Oh, I see.
And you see the tail end of that rope going
Yeah,
around like
it
this.
spins
Then when
around.
you let it go, the loop just falls out. They're not tied in there in any
I
way.
see.
The only time that rope will, the only time that rope that you don't have to is when you take a rope like this right here and you do a little thing like a butterfly.
Oh, I see.
You wind
Okay.
it back and forth like this right here, and you
Right.
wind it over here like this here, do it like this right here, up your arm like this, and around behind your head, and come
Oh,
over here
my
like
goodness.
this right here, and up like this, and then kind of let her out like this right here. And I didn't unhook this mic back here, and I'm not going to jump all the way in it like I did
Okay.
earlier. But
Is this your disco trick?
This is my disco. You take this foot and this goes here. Take the other foot and this goes here, and this goes here. Uh-oh, that did get the cord
that's
in it.
Why, yeah, that's
I want to
what
see you
happened.
do yours now.
Okay, well now let's see. Is this a special kind of rope, or is this,
This
what they
one
use
is-
on a ranch?
this was
no, I mean what the rope is made out of. Is it
This was a cotton rope. No, this
just a
is not
cotton
what
rope?
they would use on a
Okay,
ranch.
let's see if I can get this going.
You bet.
And
Just keep going. Just keep. Look at that.
there we go.
Well, I tell you right now,
Yeehaw!
you're gonna.
I'm a real cowboy,
You're gonna
Mom.
take my job away from you. I can see that right now.
I don't think you're going to have any.
You keep going. You're doing great.
Yep, I'm
You're
going
doing
too
great.
fast now. There we go.
It's funny how we
There
do
we
so
go.
good in
There
rehearsal.
we go. Yeah, all right.
Look at that.
Look
That's
out,
really
Van.
good.
I'm going to be on the freeway catching me some Yugos. Whee! Troy, this has been a lot of fun. Where can people see you coming up? Is there some place that you got?
Well, we're going to do the opening this Wednesday. We got the Phoenix JC opening for their kickoff for their rodeo. Scottsdale was just over, and Phoenix is getting ready to start.
Okay.
And we're going to do the kickoff down at Patriot Park down there?
Patriot Square?
Patriot Square or
Yeah.
something down in Washington or down in there? On
Yeah,
that?
downtown Phoenix.
I think that's where it's at. No, I'm probably wrong, and I am wrong. You know
Call
where
the Phoenix JCs. Call the Phoenix JCs.
Call the
Find
Phoenix
out.
JCs, and that is not where it's at. It's on Central. I know.
Well, it
Boy,
could
we
be
didn't.
any-
You didn't have. I didn't have that question
Oh,
down.
that's okay. That's quite all right.
We did it for 10 years down at that same spot.
Is the ranch that you have out in Scottsdale, is that a working ranch? Do you
No.
you don't raise cattle out
No,
there?
I do have a ranch in Oklahoma. I have 80 acres in
Oh, okay.
southeastern Oklahoma that I bought
Okay.
many years ago, but I have a little square on Shea Boulevard down there.
I see.
I just have an acre, just
Yeah.
enough room for my horse.
Yeah. Is there anything else you can do for us? And Van, maybe we can have a little. Yeah.
Well, I want to show you one thing. You do magic and all the time and
Yeah.
everything. I will show you one little rope trick right here like this that I do.
Okay.
It's you just take a knot and you tie two of them just like that, and then you just run it up there and pull it. And that's my only magic trick that I know.
You got me. I'm
Just
looking
looking.
the rope.
Okay, this.
Listen, Will Rogers used to do a lot of political humor and stuff. He'd read the paper. Do you follow
I
politics?
don't do that very much because today I try to bring, I try to get a lot of laughter instead of blood. And so I work the hotels, and I don't ever know who's sitting out there, and it might be one of them guys that's going to pay my check, and
That's right.
I don't want to do
Well,
anything like this.
If you were following the Democratic presidential primaries going on right now, you'd have a wealth of
Oh
material.
boy, I'll tell you, wouldn't Will Rogers have a time if he was around here today?
I think so. Let me
Here's
back up a little bit.
Here's a little thing here that you can kind of do with two of them back
This
and
is
forth,
like,
about this
rub
right
your
here.
tummy and pat
Just
your
about
head
like
at the
rub
same.
you, just about it, and then run up here and do this right here like this here, and then come over here and mess them up just like this. We're working
Well,
on it.
we have a very tiny studio, so it's not fair to you, but you're doing just fine.
But here's another little trick that sometimes that they always say to try to do is that little trick right there.
Oh,
That's a very little difficult trick to do.
Well,
I'll
let's
do a
see,
little-
if you pull this through here and you pull this through here, it looks like a mess, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yeah, but if you're a magician, you just really tie that in a knot. So now wait a minute. There we go. I'll work on this and get back to you.
You work on that. Can I move over? How far
Yeah,
can I move
yeah,
over a
you
little
can
bit?
Move over a little bit.
We'll just do a little bit of another little trick here. We'll kind of, if we have time here,
This
we'll
is oh, I
kinda
know
do
why.
another little series of butterflies here. Get a little bitty one going down here, about like this right here. Not as small as I wanted to get it, but we'll do a little one about like this right here, and then kind of get her up and kind of do a little rollover type thing, a little kind of what we call a little lazy rollover. If I don't get that cord in there,
I think we're okay. Oh, yeah, look at that, right over the shoulder.
then get a little bitty small one right there. All right.
Now,
we got-
rope spinning.
I tell you what, this cord back here and me's not
That's
doing too
okay.
good.
You're doing just fine. Now rope spinning here. This is how it is.
That's
See,
it.
There it is. There it is. There like that, and then it really ties in. This is different rope, isn't it?
That is a different rope. That's not really a magician rope. See,
No.
all you do is just reach in there and pull that too, just like
Yeah.
this. See there?
Yeah, that's it. Now rope spinning actually stems from cowboys out on a cattle drive really having to know how to use that rope.
I think a lot of the trick roping started many years ago, way before Will Rogers really started it and everything. It's just like the ranchers that would gather around. Kind of how rodeo originated, is the guys got to thinking they was a little better than the next one, and it would come along, and I think they would meet and have a little trick roping and say, I think I can do this and I can do this, and so.
Well, you take us out with some stuff, and Van, keep playing. We want to thank you for tuning into the New Variety Art Show. Boy, time runs out too soon. We've had too much fun today. Tune in next week when we'll have an all-new New Variety Art Show for you. Thanks, Troy Nabors,
Thank
for
you
being
very
here.
much.
Thanks, Van Corrigan. Thank you. We'll see you next time. And remember, support variety arts in your community. Bye-bye, everybody. Keep going here. Oh, this is great. Let's see if I can. It's pretty pathetic there. Isn't it?